We are back with another Limitless video for Matchday 10, the second leg of the quarterfinals. So this will be the optimal squad. There's no budget restrictions whatsoever. All you have to do is get 2 goalkeepers, 5 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 3 forwards, and also meet the maximum of a certain club. But apart from that, you are free to do as you please with this squad, and that's why budget will not be a concern whatsoever. And this team is designed for one match day specifically. It's not for the rest of the tournament. If you want a team like that, check out the best wildcard team video as well, which will also help you with your transfer plans using free transfers. And be sure to drop this video a like and also subscribe to the channel. It really helps out in the algorithm. And also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, join the Discord server. All the links are in the description below. And I also highly encourage you to join ExpressVPN. So just a quick word about our sponsor before we delve into the best Limitless squad for Matchday 10. Today's video is proudly sponsored by ExpressVPN. I use this service every day to watch films and shows from other countries. So living in the United Kingdom, I cannot watch The Godfather on Netflix, but with ExpressVPN, at the click of a button, I can now watch one of the greatest films ever made. I've never experienced any delays, no buffering whatsoever when surfing the internet, and you can actually access thousands of new shows and films using ExpressVPN and connecting to different servers, countries, and regions. ExpressVPN allows you to roam the internet securely. It masks your IP address and doesn't allow anyone to track your data, so you can have the best time while surfing the internet. I highly recommend you check it out, ExpressVPN. Using my link, you can get 3 months for free, so be sure to check out the link in the description below. You don't need a VPN to determine the best goalkeepers in UCL Fantasy. You do have some alternatives like Edison and Merit, but I would highly recommend going for Courtois and Onana, just as we did in the best wildcard team video. I think these are the 2 best goalkeepers in the long term, but also for this match day only. And remember, if you are picking 2 goalkeepers, no matter if it's on the Limitless wildcard or using free transfers, make sure they play on different days. So we've got Courtois playing on the Tuesday and Onana on the Wednesday. That's perfect. If Courtois blanks against Chelsea, you can sub him out for Onana during the substitution window, and that's what you want to do with your goalkeeper. So just bear that in mind. And whilst Courtois is away to Chelsea and could concede here, I think Onana also has a very good chance of a clean sheet, so it balances it out. And these 2 goalkeepers have the highest chance of a clean sheet. If you're not sure about Courtois away to Chelsea, then I'd probably go for Merit from Napoli from the Tuesday games anyway, because for me it's between Courtois and Merit, and I'd probably give the edge to the Belgian instead, but it's completely up to you. That's just my personal preference. You can correct me or maybe put your opinions in the comment section down below. I think these 2 goalkeepers can't do you wrong in Matchday 10. I've gone for something a little bit different. You can make a case for going for Grimaldo instead, but I have gone for Theo Hernandez, who has kept 2 clean sheets in his last 2 games against Napoli. He's also gotten 6 to 7 points in pretty much every single game he has started in this season's Champions League. AC Milan are one of 2 teams to not concede a single goal in the knockout so far, the other one being their fierce rivals Inter Milan. So I would probably go for one AC Milan player, and Theo Hernandez is the pick of the bunch. I've also gone for Ruben Dias, and you could say on a Limitless, you'd back Bayern Munich over Man City. So instead of Ruben Dias, you can go for Alphonso Davies, but I think Man City have a better team and defence than the German side, but you could also make a case of just going for Davies anyway and targeting that attacking threat and also the potential there in terms of ball recoveries, which the Canadian certainly has at his disposal. Then we've gone for Di Lorenzo. I think that's a no-brainer. He features in all of these videos, and even if he's eliminated, that's not an issue on the Limitless necessarily. But that tie is the one that hangs the most in the balance. Napoli versus Milan, only a 1-goal deficit between both sides. The rest is quite comprehensive with 2 or 3 goals between the 2 teams, and I think Napoli have a good chance of mounting that comeback. And if they do, Di Lorenzo can get some attacking returns and also potentially a clean sheet in the process. Eder Militao away to Chelsea is a very good way of covering Madrid defensively. If you're not sure about a Real Madrid clean sheet, that's fair enough, but I'd still go for one defender or goalkeeper if you can, and if I had to pick, it would be Eder Militao in the back line. And the final defender is Bastoni. You've got that double up in Inter Milan defensively at home to Benfica, another team that haven't conceded a single goal in the knockout so far in 3 games. So I would probably give Bastoni the edge in terms of the Inter Milan defenders. He got the Man of the Match award in the last game, and he's always gotten 4 points or more in every single game in UCL Fantasy so far this season. But if you want a cost-effective option, check out my best wildcard team video. Darmian's the answer there. But with no budget restrictions whatsoever, Bastoni will take the cake, and he will be the most nailed-on defender from Inter Milan. This will certainly be debatable, and I'm very unconvinced about that 5th midfielder, to be quite frank. I have gone for Leroy Sané. I want that one Bayern Munich midfielder or player at least, and Leroy Sané is the only Bayern Munich player we've gone for here, but you can make a case for Serge Gnabry, Leon Goretzka, Joshua Kimmich, and even Choupo-Moting up front if he returns from injury, Alphonso Davies in the backline, for example. And I think I'd maybe go for 2 or 3 Bayern players if you wanted to go a bit different. And on the Limitless, you might as well go against the crowd a little bit, because most people with normal teams will be looking to buy players from teams that will probably go through to the next round. So they're going to be piling up on Man City, and you can go against that, where Bayern are particularly strong at home and they might even make a comeback. You can never rule them out, even against Man City, who tend to be bottlers in Europe, you could argue. I wouldn't rule them out completely, and I would try to get at least one Bayern player. But if you want to go different, go for that second or third, and maybe go for Alphonso Davies in the backline too. I've also gone for João Mario, and whilst Benfica are 2 goals down, I'd still favour Benfica more offensively and in terms of their fantasy assets in the midfield and forward line compared to Inter Milan, who have been very frustrating and unreliable in the last few months. And before the Benfica match, Inter Milan had only scored 2 goals in the last 5 games, so they are still a bit of an unreliable team, and I wouldn't fully trust them. And I'd go for João Mario there to have at least one Benfica player, and he'd be the pick of the bunch, and that's for sure. Vinicius Jr. is just a no-brainer. He's one of 3 players that I would argue are absolutely essential in UCL Fantasy, the other 2 being Karim Benzema and Erling Haaland. The rest is probably up for debate, and you don't need to go for them necessarily, but Vinicius Jr. is one of those 3 that you can't go without, in my honest opinion. Kvaratskhelia is also in here. I don't think he's as nailed, or as essential, should I say, as maybe he once was early in the campaign, because he's been very disappointing in the knockout so far. But on the Limitless, I'd still go for him. He's a very cost-effective option regardless. But no matter if you want to just go for the most expensive players or not, I don't see too many better midfielders than Kvaratskhelia, despite his recent disappointments. And Kevin De Bruyne is the pick of the bunch for me from the Man City midfielders. But you could also go for Grealish, who's the inform one. You can go for Bernardo Silva, who did the bits against Bayern Munich in the first leg. And you've got Ilkay Gundogan. You've got plenty of choices there. I would go for a Man City midfielder though, and Kevin De Bruyne is the answer. The only thing we need to look out for is whether he's going to start or not, and we don't get the lineups for Man City before the deadline as we did last week. But we should get some more information over the next few days, and whether De Bruyne will start against Leicester or not, and I think he will, so he shouldn't be any issue whatsoever heading into Matchday 10. I've gone for the same front 3 as I did on the wildcard video. I see no reason to change it. If you wanted to go different and against some of these template picks, Rafael Leao would be the one I'd go for. Gonzalo Ramos didn't really impress in the first leg, and whilst he was maybe unlucky not to get a penalty, I would just go for this front 3. Benzema and Haaland have to be in it, in my opinion. Osimhen is debatable, but I think he'll do well against AC Milan, and Napoli have been missing him gravely in the last month or so. So Osimhen will be in this team, and I wouldn't go against him. Spalletti has already confirmed that he will start in the second leg. Karim Benzema and Haaland are just really good captaincy options, and you're covering 2 of the best teams in the world and their attack. So really there's no reason to go against Benzema or Haaland, but you could go against the Nigerian. However, I would go for him, to be honest. In terms of the captaincy, I'm probably favouring Benzema or Vinicius on the Tuesday and Erling Haaland on the Wednesday, but you could make a case for the Nigerian striker Osimhen, or you could maybe go for someone else on the Wednesday, such as João Mario. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below in terms of who are the best captaincy options on the Tuesday and Wednesday, who are the best players and teams to target for the long term, and I'd be very interested to see what you come up with. But this is a really good 50-man squad. You've got a balance of pretty much all of the teams out there, although you could make a case that we are missing certain players. And look, I'm not going to be able to please everybody with these selections, but I firmly believe this is the best 50-man squad on the Limitless, and it will do an incredible job in Matchday 10. And in terms of the budget, although it doesn't really matter, this team would cost 111.2 million, so it's 1.7 million over budget for me. With the Limitless, that is no issue whatsoever. So just enjoy the points and having so many premiums at your disposal. I know some of you might want to use the Limitless later on in the competition, such as in Matchday 13, the final, but I think you'll have fewer premiums by then, and it'll be easier to stay within budget, so your gains on the Limitless might not be as high if you save it for later on in the season compared to using it right now. But it's all team dependent. Some of you might not need to use it just yet, so you can just afford to go another week without using the chip. But some of you, even if you only need maybe 4 or 5 changes to get the very best team, with only 3 transfers, you wouldn't be able to get that optimal squad in your opinion, and therefore the Limitless could be best used in Matchday 10 for you. But thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, then be sure to smash the like button and subscribe for new. Let's try to get this video to over 300 likes. Let's keep on pushing towards 20,000 subscribers and beyond. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, DylanRCM, and check the links in the description below for the Patreon, channel memberships, Discord server, and the UCL Fantasy League. And I highly encourage you to check out ExpressVPN. I think you have a great time using it, and it also just makes using the internet a much better experience. I wish you all the best of luck for Matchday 10 and the rest of the Champions League campaign, and I'll see you next time.